Hello guys, today I want to present you a build which I made myself. I created this build in Hardcore Piranhas League and it was a hardcore character but sadly dripped at level 92. But I like this build a lot, so I want to show you how it works and what the general idea behind it. Okay, firstly I use these skills Blade Vortex and Righteous Fire. These are my main skills. So, well, you know, Blade Vortex is a pretty decent skill. It does a lot of damage, and if you manage to stack a lot of these knives, you do huge damage. And Righteous Fire is a pretty good buff. If you see like this, it buffs your damage by 59 at level 20. It means 59 more spell damage, which is a multiplier and is a great boost for your damage. And these the monsters within this ring are burning also, so it's quite nice skill. The downside is you have to have a lot of fire resistance and you have to have a lot of life regeneration, because this is also a self-degeneration, a debuff, and as you see, you burn for 90% of your maximum life per certain as fire damage. So, well, as you see here now, I have the Rise of the Phoenix. The Rise of Phoenix is a pretty common shield used for Righteous Fire, and it gives 8% to maximum fire resistance. And I also have Purity of Fire with a weapon which has +2 to the level of sword fire jumps. And well, my Purifier is corrupted, so it's level 21, and with +2 it makes 23. And I have I have 5 additional maximum fire resistance. So in total I have 89. It means I have from this skill also 1 person, so 8 plus 5 plus 1 makes 14, and 75 plus 14 are 89. So these are my maximum resistance, and well, I can use it without any flask. As you see, it's well, the life doesn't get any lower. And well, I use here the Chieftain class. As you see here, the Chieftain class has a lot of advantages. It has fire damage and life regeneration. So, well, it's quite nice. If you see, it has 10% fire damage and life regeneration, and it has 35% increased damage against burning enemies, and again fire damage and life regeneration. And here, this is most interesting part, you have 1% of fire damage in each life. It doesn't work with Righteous Fire, but it does work with Blade Vortex. I will tell you later how my Blade Vortex is working. And there are also 2 interesting parts. 10% of fire resistance are penetrated, and 20% of physical damage as extra fire damage are gained if you kill recently. So my Blade Vortex gets 20% more damage. Yeah, and here again fire damage and life regeneration, and this is also very interesting. You have here, if you get 1 endurance charge, you get 0.5% of maximum life regenerated per second per endurance charge. So it's a huge buff. For example, if you get 6 endurance charges, you get 3 life regeneration, 3% life regeneration. So it's a great buff. And if you combine with this skill point, 0.2% plus 0.5, so it makes per endurance charge 0.7%. So with 6 endurance charges you get 4.2% of life regeneration. Yeah, it's really huge. Okay, And well, I skilled mostly life regeneration and life, so it's pretty defense build. You see life regeneration, here's also lots of life regeneration, and here's life also. There's life regeneration, and also there, because I want to maintain my Vortex file, so I need lots of life regeneration. Now we come to the interesting part. If you see here in tooltip, my blade Vortex does 1434 to 2309 fire damage. It does only fire damage, as you see. So how does it work? I mean, Blade Vortex has physical damage usually, and now it has only fire damage. Well, I wanted to make my build a fire damage build only, so I'm using this keystone, Avatar of Fire. This is pretty interesting keystone because it says 50% of physical damage is converted to fire damage, 50% of lightning damage is converted to fire damage, and 50% of cold damage is converted to fire damage, and deal non-fire damage. So it's, well, it's quite interesting, but the downside is that only 50% of physical damage are converted to fire damage. And to counter this downside, I have thought about using special items to convert my other part of the physical damage to other elemental damage and to make it full fire damage. Okay, so I use two rings which are special here in this case. The first one is called the Brotherhood. It says 50% of lightning damage is converted to cold damage, and I have this ring, the Pyre. It says 100% of cold damage is converted to fire damage. Okay, so now we can go to the calculator and check it. First, I reset this first. Okay, now we enable Avatar Fire. So if you see, we have input 100 physical damage and output is only 50 fire damage, as I said before. So it's not that great. But now we use Call of the Brotherhood, which converts 50% of lightning to cold. We type in 50, and we have Pyre, which converts cold to fire. So here 100%. Yeah. Okay. Now we have a special skill jump, a support jump, which is called physical to lightning. So 50% of physical are converted to fire, and 50% of physical are converted to lightning with this special skill jump. So we can now add 50% here, and as you see, I have 100% fire damage. So it means I don't lose any damage from physical, 100% converted to fire. So it's pretty interesting. And well, the downside of course is that you have to use 2 ring slots, but the good thing is that the rings are actually not that bad, because you get resistance, you get extra fire burning damage, and well, ignited enemies you hit are destroyed on kill. It's pretty cool on kill effect, which you can see later. And he is also good because you get resistances, you get intelligence, and well, mana regeneration is also not bad, and the conversion, which is also very important. And well, you can't freeze any enemies, so this last stat is not important. Okay, so these 2 rings are really important to make this build work. And the good thing is that with full fire damage you get all these buffs, these 10%, and also this is really good because all the fire damage is penetrating to 10% fire resistance, and you leech 1% of fire damage as life also. So it's pretty nice deal here we have, and you can stack fire damage like here and here and here, and here and here, and both Blade Vortex and Righteous Fire are buffed by fire damage. As you see, I have some jewel sockets and you see I have stacked physical damage, fire damage, and area damage. Also here, area damage and fire damage. So both Righteous Fire and Blade Vortex profit from it. So it's pretty nice deal. As you see, at this spot I put an Intuitive Leap because I wanted to stack some area of effect and I need this extra duration skill point, and well, Intuitive Leap is a very good option here. Okay, but this is mostly the build here. You have lots of life, as you see 6000 life is pretty defensive, and with the endurance charge you get extra physical damage reduction, and yeah, you have a lot of area effect also with these points, so it's a pretty defensive but still very strong build because you use no critical damage. So I have this Keystone Elemental Overload. This is really good skill point because it says 40% more elemental damage if you crit in the past 8 seconds. So if you imagine you have no crit multiplier, but you have 40% more elemental damage, and with Blade Vortex you have already 6% base critical strike chance, so your elemental overload buff is almost up all the time because you stack many vortexes, and these vortexes hit multiple times in a second, and yeah, you keep this elemental overload all the time up. Okay, well, as you see, this is pretty defensive. Now I want to show you my my item setup, my other item setup, and how I did the skill gems. First I use Blade Vortex, which is clear, and then I use Fire Penetration. It's also must have because you do only fire damage, and fire penetration is really important. If you see here, penetration, there's an example how penetration works. And for example, if your enemy has 0 fire resistance and we have 50% penetration, you do minus 50%. Well, it's a multiplier, so if you do 100 fire damage, you do 150 fire damage, so it's, well, it's really good. But for example, if your monster has capped resistance and overcapped already, the penetration works really good in this situation because it ignores the cap, I would say, and will go from maximum fire resistance from 75 to 25%, so it's really good deal here. And you get from this skill gem 37 plus this Ascendancy point here 10, so it means 47 fire penetration, which is really nice. Okay, fire penetration head, elemental focus. Elemental focus is really nice. It says only supported skills cannot inflict elemental status ailments. Well, I don't need any burn damage, so it's okay. Increased duration is also very important with Blade Vortex because the blades are staying alive for a longer time. Spell Echo is also really important. It's, well, self-explanatory, and, well, as I explained before, physical to lightning. Physical to lightning is really important skill gem which you have to use here. If you have a 4 link only, I would use Blade Vortex, Fire Penetration, Spell Echo, and depending on your other, oh, well, not depending, you have to use physical to lightning, otherwise your damage won't be converted. Okay, and these are these 2 skill gems I would use with 5 and 6 link. I would prefer increased duration, but you can also use elemental focus. It's about the same damage of, yeah. And, well, with Righteous Fire, you use Righteous Fire and elemental focus and increased burning damage. And the last gem slot, it's optional. You can use increased area effect, you can use concentrated effect, which boosts your Righteous Fire damage, and you could also use increased rarity, the gem. Well, I like increased area effect because if you see it without increased area effect, it's not really that big. Okay, and well, as a weapon, I use mace, a scepter. You can also use wands or daggers. It's no problem. The best would be to have a weapon with +2 to level of soft fire gems and to get 23 level on purity of fire. And well, I stacked cast speed, spell damage, fire damage. The exile damage to spells is not really important, but well, it helps. Okay, then I have here Rallying Cry, which is a self buff, which is really nice. Increased mana regeneration and damage. And Flame Dash, well, it's a movement skill. For example, I want to get over somewhere and well, it's just to move faster. Okay, and then I have in the helmet, I have Summon Stone Golem. Well, it's optional. You don't need a golem to have good regeneration, but I like this because, well, he's not really tanky, but the regeneration is really nice. And Blood Rage is also nice self buff. For each frenzy charge, you get 4 more spell damage, so it's really cool skill. And Hatred, well, Hatred works really nice with Blade Vortex, and since we have prior 100% of core damage to convert to fire damage, so full damage of Hatred is also converted to fire damage, works pretty well. And Enduring Cry. Enduring Cry is also really important because you have to stack your endurance charges to get more life regeneration. Also, per endurance charge you get physical resistance, which is really important in some maps. Okay, then I have the boots. Boots I use cast when damage taken, really good. And with cast damage taken I use Ice Nova and Curse on Hit. So as you can see later, the Ice Nova will hit any enemy within its radius. It's about this size and will curse on hit, and the enemy are cursed by Warlord's Mod. So it's really nice. You get 2% of life leech when hit and 2% of mana leech when hit. So yeah, it's really nice buff because with this Ascendancy points you get a total of 3% of fire damage each as life. So well, it's pretty defensive skill, really nice. And you can also level up it to 20, and with quality you have over 40% chance to to have an endurance charge when you kill an enemy. It's really nice. And for the shield I have cast when damage taken but higher level, and I use Molten Shell and Tempest Shield. Well, it's up to your personal preference. You can change this, and you also can change Summon Stone Golem. So, for example, my Golem dies very often, so you could also put it in the cast when damage taken setup, and you don't have to cast your Golem yourself. But I do it myself. I don't bother. So this is mainly the build. Which I forgot to say, I have lightning cone, but it's not a must have. You can use any good chest armor with high life and fire, and well, with high life and resistances, high armor. And the amulet is also not really special. I have only dexterity to get as much as possible for the Blade Vortex, and well, the others I used to stack resistances and life. Resistance and life are really important in hardcore, so well, these are the main things you should focus on. So, and for the flask I have a anti-bleeding life flask and a panic flask, and yeah, a granite flask. It's standard, and a ruby flask. The ruby flask is important for some maps really, because you have to get as much fire resistance because you are using Righteous Fire, and while at last I use Quicksilver Flask. This one grants immunity to freeze and chill during flask effects, so yeah, it's up to your preferences. Okay, that's it. Now I will show you a map. Well, which one should I pick? I think I will start with Vulnerability. Vulnerability is, well, it's a bad mod for me because I'm using Righteous Fire. The degeneration effect of Righteous Fire will be stronger here. But I will show you now that I can play these maps, it's no problem, it's pretty cool. Okay, I have enabled Impurity Fire and I enabled Hatred, and now I use Rallying Cry. Okay, I have Enduring Cry and Rallying Cry, Flame Dash, Purity, Righteous Fire and Blood Mage. And yeah, as you see, it's the tool tip damage is not really high, but if I use Righteous Fire, it's now 10,000. But now if I go and see a monster and stack my damage with Blood Rage, and yeah, I'm stacking now damage, and when I have 3 Frenzy charges and all endurance charges, I have now 20,000, over 20,000, and now I will use Rallying Cry as soon as possible, and now I have 21,000 already. So if you multiply it with 10 seconds, it's over 200,000 damage blade mortar only. So you use with Righteous Fire, you also do lots of damage. Okay, as you see, I can maintain my life here pretty good, and if you use the Ruby Flask, it's no problem. Okay, this is the playstyle, pretty easy, not much to worry about. Just run through, stack some Blade Vortex and some endurance charges, and if you want, you can use Rallying Cry, because when you kill an enemy you also have 10% chance to gain an endurance charge with your Ascendancy skill point. So it's really easy to use. Well, I won't pick up any currency because this is standard league, and well, sadly I died. But this is pretty strong. It's a level 76 map, the George, and well, pretty easy. You just run through, stack some blades, and just go in. Okay, and to show you how much damage Righteous Fire does, I wait a bit. Okay, now I don't have any blades left, but as you see, Righteous Fire almost kills every white mobs pretty fast. It's really nice. And the
a moment of your time.
Don't need him. And the Blade Water does already huge damage. Okay. And now I just boom, rush through, kill everything. Yeah. It's pretty fun build. I mean, it's not a very usual build, and you use only fire damage, but it's really easy to use and really easy to understand, and also does a lot of damage. Yeah, it's for myself. I like this build a lot. Okay, I'm gonna finish the boss soon, and after I finish this map, I will stop the video, and you can just check the links below. I will do another videos with Atsi runs, and will show you how I kill Exile with this build, and I will show also on other maps how with elemental reflection I manage it, and with lower less recovery of life and yeah, mana and energy shield. So this will be the next videos. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked it, and if you want to leave a comment, you can leave it, of course. And in the links you also will find a description to this build and a link to the forum where I explain the build, and you also can ask in the forum. So thanks for watching, and see you next video maybe.